Attention, all avid collectors and fan cave enthusiasts. We are excited to bring the latest updates on the highly anticipated fan cave auctions presented in partnership with JRS Auctions. If you're seeking that perfect addition to your fan cave or unique collectible, JRS Auctions is your ultimate destination. Led by Joel Robichaux and his dedicated team, they offer a vast array of treasures and memorabilia that will surely captivate your heart.
From classic cars and boats to trailers, RVs, and ATVs, they have it all. Additionally, their inventory features an eclectic mix of collectible signage, vintage gas pumps, figurines, tools, and wall decorations spanning various periods of time. Brace yourselves, as exploring their extensive selection may result in your wallet taking a hit. To participate in this week's auction, head over to jrsauctions.com and register to place your bids. Don't miss out on the opportunity to acquire the ultimate addition to your fan cave collection. Happy bidding.
Paille Racing and Stickers and Scuffs have joined forces once again in 2024 for the one and only podcast experience you won't want to miss. Let's talk about this NASCAR Canada Series team helmed by the one and only Jean-Claude Paille. Now, this guy is not your average team owner. He's an enthusiastic, caring, and oh so professional GM dealer with an insatiable hunger for racing. We're talking true passion people. Jean-Claude has been a loyal supporter of Stickers and Scuffs for countless years, and we can't help but love the man and his entire Paille Racing squad for their unwavering dedication to the world of motorsports. They've got our back, and we want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to the whole Paille Racing team for their incredible support. Keep doing what you do, Paille Racing, because you rock.
Stickers and Scuffs in the fast lane, yeah. Live with the raw, feel the drive, yeah. Madness on the track, we ain't slowing down. Cam and Graydon taking it around town. From the bleachers to the pits and pride, stories scream loud, no place to hide. Engine screaming gas pedal to the floor. Ontario nights, we keep asking for more. Broadcasting live through the metal and might. Under the lights, racing pure delight. Going to flash.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Stickers and Scuffs podcast. Cam K with our guest co-host this week. Ben Hodgson is here from Peterborough Speedway and the mayor of the Infield at Sunset Speedway, one we've been waiting for to be on the show for a while. It's Chris Allard here on the show. Chris, how are you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good. Well, getting better. My legs are still really sore, especially after being in the car for 2 days this weekend, but we're getting there.
Let's bring everybody up to date kind of with what's happened, Chris. You obviously have been the points leader in the bone stock division out at Sunset Speedway most of the entire year, pretty much.
All season.
Yeah, all season. But now, a couple weeks ago, something happened, and you actually are dealing with a pretty severe injury right now.
Yeah, so the Friday night there before the big invitational race at Sunset, I was actually in a motor vehicle crash on my bike versus car, hit a guardrail. Did some good damage to my legs. Had 2 broken ankles, cuboid in my right foot, ACL, MCL, PCL on my left knee. I'm waiting on surgery for my ACL. I'm actually not supposed to be walking, so I'm supposed to be bed bound for now. And racing's, it's a different way of life. You love it or you hate it, and it's a big passion in our household. And with Josh Berry on our side this year, or last couple of years there, we've been working with him and Jason King, and it's just something I'm not ready to give up yet. And my kids, they glow on Saturdays to go to the track. It's more for them than it is for me, right? So. Yeah, we had a pretty good injury, good setback, I think. I think I'm not comfortable in the car at all. My feet don't work the way they should be. I think we could have proved a lot more than what we did this year, even though we proved a lot this year, don't get me wrong. But like I said, it's just we're still here to tell you about it and do it. That's all that matters. So we'll let that go and we'll get on with the show here. And
How was the pain threshold in the car?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. It's a love of it's an addiction of racing that's keeping me driving doing this. Like today, I'm surprised I'm out of bed. Usually after one day of racing, I'm in bed for 2-3 days after. I can't walk, I can't move. Like it's just it's sore. It's very painful.
Yeah. Because I mean, we were out there for the race at the Flying Frank, and you were able to get there, get the win, and literally Calvin Reeser, who you barely beat to the line in what was a great finish, he's helping you out of the car.
Yeah.
And you can just see the pain. I haven't put the video up because it's not something I like seeing. I don't like seeing
You
drivers
can
in
put it.
pain,
You can
right?
post it. I get.
Yeah.
It. I get what you're saying, but it's part of it, right? Like I get in. I can get in and out on my own. It's very hard to get out on my own. If I have to, an emergency situation, I know I could do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, my left leg doesn't work from the knee down. It's when I walk, I lock it into place or I have my brace on. Like it doesn't bend. It doesn't do anything. So it's really, it's hard. But we're working through it. We're figuring it out. Like
It's what you got to do, man.
right.
You got to come away with a championship out of this too, which
it's real close right now. I think we have I want to say 86 from my math. I believe it's 86-point lead. Yeah, so a perfect night's 100. So
it's been pretty good this year for you, and one of those things that we want to highlight is drivers that represent the podcast. Obviously, you would be one of those names that we brought on this year, and we talked quite a bit about the division that you're in, bone stock division, and there's a good bit of veterans in there. There's some young kids that are in there. You guys, for the most part, have kept things pretty well clean this year and had some amazing racing. I'm curious because other bone stock divisions are not like that. They aren't as clean. So is it because you guys have veterans that you guys have been able to keep it together, or what?
I think it's the fact that yes, veterans help huge. They help huge. You get the kids looking up to them, try to run with them, see where they can come from, where they're going. But we're at a sunset. You race each other how you want to be raced. If you want to go beat and bang doors, guess what? Expect it back. We don't play like that. We all talk at the beginning of the season, and it's going to be a clean season of racing. We're not out there to replace parts that don't need. We're out there to go faster and make our cars better each week. When you're spending time in the shop, rehanging right front corners, left front corners of suspension, rather than what can I do to make it faster now? It just takes away from the sport, right? So we pretty much all come to agreements like you run me the way I want to run you. And if you're not going to, guess what? I have no problem turning you. I don't want to. I don't drive like that. But if you're going to run me like that, guess what? Expect it back. And it's been like that all season. We've all give each other the space. Like there's been a couple. You got to expect it. And that's just hard racing incidents that happen. Like that's all there is to it, right? But it's pretty much just a respect game, and the young kids understand the respect. Like that's the biggest thing about it is get what you give. You want a lane, you give a lane. You want to run door to door.
Speaking of young kids, we'll send this next question to Ben and see what he's going to ask of the mayor of the infield.
Yeah, when we were at Sunset for the first time a couple weeks ago, we were walking just by the chute, and we saw your car sitting there, and you're rocking out with the music, your fist out the window, and I was like, that guy has got some swag for sure. We want to kind of talk about, I'm sure you told the story 100 times, but we want to talk about what's the story behind those huge stereos in your car.
So, like I said, we're out there to have fun. It's a family ordeal and stuff. So when we pull in the pits, the trunk comes off. The music plays. I have my guys pushing my car more times than none because we've killed the battery listening to music, trying to go out for a feature. But the stereo is just put in there for fun. We actually have one of my sponsors is Fast Car Audio up in Midland here, and that's what they do, sound system and stuff. So he's like, hey, man, we work the deal out that way through sponsorship. And like pit parties, fan appreciations, you throw the car on the track, everyone's around it. It's that's what it's about. It's about the fans having fun and good time. That's what racing's meant to be, right? So the system went in from a sponsor, thanks to Tom's Car Fast Audio. We really appreciate their help and support this year. And then ever since then, it's just been it says bone stock in the rules. And if you want to get technical, the Cobalts came with a stock 8-inch sub. So yeah, the sub's a little bit bigger than 8 inches, and there's two of them, but all we did was left the radio in it, right? Like, no, but it's just out to have fun, and it's the party mobile, man.
I love that we can kind of branch off of that question that Ben just asked, because for me it was the Shania Twain. That was what got me working, man. I love that. I thought that was fantastic. What's the go-to?
It's so some days I'll get a couple messages in the morning for requests and stuff. Like, here's the playlist. I'll throw the play. It's whatever. If someone walks up and says anything, the go-to's got to be some like I don't know. I did some pretty good driving the night of Shania Twain's playlist,
right?
And so usually I don't know anything that just gets going. Like, it doesn't matter what's playing. It's just the sound of the music in the background. Now, my exhaust did fall off. Yesterday we ran with the minis for the Allard Cup. My exhaust did fall off there at the header at the motor, and I can't hear the subs at all anymore. And they're loud. Like for you to be able to hear them in the stands, and then all of a sudden one thing happened to the car and you cannot hear music at all. Like it's crazy how loud they really are. Like I've never been in the stands to hear them, but I have a lot of people say like, "Oh, you can hear it clear as day while you're racing and stuff." Like, and like I find that's pretty cool. So like, if anyone's watching has a song request there for Championship Night, Frost Fest, or Autumn's Colors, you throw them out there. I'll make sure we play them for you. Like I'll try.
There we go. And I'm curious how it sounds out at Peterborough. So we definitely, Ben, we gotta get the Peterborough faithful to get some song requests in, because I think
if you don't want to do announcing or you got two mics, we can put a mic in the car and I can be.
Oh man, don't tempt me now. Don't tempt me.
We'll figure something out, man. Like I'm always down to play and have fun and make the show for the fans. So
yeah, I mean it's stuff like this is great. How was the venture into mini stocks yesterday?
We're stock cobalt, dude. We threw tires on and went to see, like, just to see what we could do. We ended up actually our finish was 14th out of 26 cars. So you can't complain. All we did to the car was change the tires and rims. We didn't throw camber at it. We didn't change the computer. We tried to change the computer, but it wouldn't run the car. But we were a stock computer. I was out there shifting gears. Everyone else, or pardon my language, one gear going by. I'm out shifting down the front stretch, shifting back in to come out of the corner. Like I was really, really tired after yesterday, especially 73 laps. But like I said, it was just I knew they didn't have a whole field to fill the cars, and I wasn't going to win the thing by any means. I knew that. We were just going to compete and represent Alan there. Like Alan was a good friend back in the day, and that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to bring cars out that haven't been out and just show your support to your local tracks, right? Like I said, not that the championship has slowed us down from traveling this year, the accident is really what slowed us down. Like, I'd really like to be traveling and running Wednesday night Sobel Dash for Cash. I'd really maybe making the trip out to London on Friday. I'm really debating it there. Go run Delaware. I don't know. I got to talk, see if they'll let me, because I know their points are coming down to a crunch and stuff. But I'd really like to go to Delaware Friday. Frost Fest is definitely a show we're going to. Autumn's Colors is definitely a show we're going to. It's support your local home tracks. That's what it's about, right? Like, and if there's anything else that I'm missing, like if there's like a Wednesday show at Grand Bend prior to the end of the season, or I think Sobel and Peterborough are both done until Autumn's Colors, correct?
Yeah.
Sobel's done for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there's anything out there, you let me know that I'm missing. I'm definitely attending it. We're there to support our home tracks, like our local
Pumpkin Smasher.
I'm not going to say no to that, but I'm going to say I'm not bringing my race car.
No.
I'm not saying a car can't be built prior to that. Like there's definitely a good chance. And we got
take Josh's car.
Well, we got 5 or 6 of them at the shop too that can be built up real quick, right? Parts cars and stuff. So I'm not saying like definitely like I've never ran a Delaware. I'd definitely like to give it a try this Friday before the Pumpkin Smasher, but it's definitely an option. Like it's enduros and stuff are cool too, like that. Like it's not out of my question. But it's just right now, the yellow car will not be going to this Pumpkin Smasher, but it will go to Autumn's Colors. It will go to Frost Fest, then we'll finish up Velocity and Championship Night.
Ben,
man, I gotta say though, I can't wait to have you at Autumn Colors to see that car ripping around Canada Stuff's 3rd mile oval. Now, still going back to your car, you have a pretty vibrant paint scheme, so you want to kind of talk about what goes on with designing your car and what's the story behind the number as well.
So the story behind the number is I was born April 5th, 1992. I was at the track that week to watch my old man win the feature. He was number 76 with a yellow car only. Told up. Yellow adds horsepower, apparently. So I've been told. So stuck with the number 76. It's never left. And then the paint scheme was yellow's the color. And then Josh, my teammate there, he had a wrap on his car. And I said, hey, let's just throw the same wraps on each car, just different base colors kind of thing. So we did that. I'm pumped for Autumn's Colors this year. Like last year, we had that car out at Autumn's Colors last year. It was actually just a yellow 55. So we finished third. Yeah, we finished third last year at Autumn's Colors. First night in the car, first time in the car. We bought it like 2 days before Autumn's Colors. Didn't really plan on going, and then we bought it and we went to Autumn's Colors. Finished third, ran first and second with Phil and Wade the whole race. Ended up having the car pop out of gear with like 2 to go and got past. But I am pumped to come to Autumn's Colors. Peterborough is my favorite track by all means out of any track I've ever driven in Ontario. That place is a blast. We've always had good finishes there. I've ran my mini stock there previous, my super stock there previous. Bone stock last year. We're coming back this year. We're looking for that top place, that crown. Like, we're coming. We're fighting hard. If Phil shows up, Phil's who we're coming after for
Yeah, Phil's got it kind of figured out, but we call him Daddy Givens. Ain't gonna. He's got a little more responsibilities now. He's a little busier.
I had to settle down when I had kids, so now he's starting to catch up too, right? So he's gonna have to slow it down. We had a real good run with him at the Flying Frank there, so now we know we can beat him. It's just now it's time to beat him. He needs to be slowed down a little bit. Like, he's like, in my look, him like Wade Thorne, top drivers in Ontario, Lawrence. Those are people that I want to shut down for my doings. Just about okay, yes, we've done that. And there's just a couple drivers on this list that I haven't checked off yet, and they're coming. So the season ain't over yet.
Well, you've had a phenomenal year at Sunset with and I put it out there as that bone stock race between you, Aiden Harper, and Phil was one of, and actually Jordan Owen was just back and forth. That was one of the best bone stock races I've ever seen.
Calvin, not Aiden.
Oh, sorry, Calvin. Well, you guys were 3 wide.
Yeah.
I think I lost count how many laps you guys actually stayed that close, but again, you guys are showing how to race. It can be done without contact, which I feel like people have lost that. I mean, you watch some of the hot rod races this year, it almost looks like they don't know how to make a corner without contact. So is it really a matter of skill or, like you mentioned, respect? Both.
Temper is your biggest thing. You got to understand that bumping and rubbing happens, and if you can't take someone rubs you trying to race you and you take it, you can't take that and cool down on it. You can't. I don't know. The biggest thing I've learned in racing is the highs are the highs, the lows are the lows, and you cannot control them. Like you cannot control them. It's out of your judge. So we've had, like you said, we had a hell of a season this year. I think we finished the top 2 all year. I haven't finished outside the top 2, I think. So just everything's fallen into place. You can't make it happen. You can't make.
How did this deal come together? Because you weren't running with the Barry team previous. I know Jason King came into that last year as well. And you guys kind of come together as that big team, and McPherson kind of as a semi teammate as well. So all you guys,
everyone's a teammate. Together. Everyone's teammate. You need help, I'll help you. I don't. That's the way I work. But so 20 when I was in Neon 22, 2021. 2021, I bought a Dodge Neon mini stock, and I guess Junior Josh's dad there bought Andrea Luss old bone stock, and they didn't know race cars. They weren't about that stuff. They just wanted to try it, see what happened. So I guess they talked to Mike Paps from Auto Trim. Junior did, and like, who do I go to? And Mike Paps said, see Allard. He has a Neon, and he's a good teacher. So they came to me. We talked. There's a lot to take on, so I'm not racing. So we sold the Neon. It went up to Laird Speedway, and it's dominated up there. It has dominated the last 2 seasons since I gave that thing up, got that go. Sold that. Josh ran 2 races at the end of the season just to get his feet wet. Do you like it? What? So he did. So we went last year. Josh ran Rookie of the Year, 2nd in points, I believe. Unreal season for the kid. Right? And I worked on the car all year. And then at the end of the season last year, the 55 car came up, and we're sure. So we bought it. And we didn't know what we were doing until all year. And then at the beginning of the season, we said, we're both going to race. So like I said, one of us win a championship, promise you that. So that happened, and we've raced it out all year, and it turned into friendship, which turned into family, and it's crazy now. Like, we're with each other all the time. It's awesome. Like,
Ben.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear you guys being able to come together and kind of build that racing community as we see at so many tracks, Peterborough, Sunset, wherever it is across Ontario. Now, going to our bone stock division, it's been such an incredible class that continues to grow over the past couple of years, and you get a lot of veterans starting to kind of teach the younger kids coming to that series. You want to kind of describe how the competition is at Sunset and where do you think the bone stocks are right now?
So you said teaching kids and stuff, like all of us veteran drivers kind of have a young driver under our wing at Sunset. Just someone to lean on, go to. And it's always, they don't have the answer. It's hard to rank. Like, how do you rank it across Ontario? Like, I don't go to other tracks right now to be able to answer that really just for that one. But it's a big family community kind of thing. Like, the more you help each other, the more you got to not expect to get back. But the more I help, I don't expect anything back by any means. But the more I help is I expect you to take that knowledge and expand it and pass it on to someone else who's going to ask you that question a year or two or next week down the road kind of thing, right? So it's I don't know, it's like what you give, you receive kind of thing, but it's not what you receive because I'm not expecting anything back. Does that make sense? Like,
And how healthy do you think the class is for the future?
that was our goal. We tried to grow it. Like, we had one car last year. We came out with 4 this year at the beginning of the season, and like we sold them off throughout the year. They've been passed around to different drivers. Like, my goal was to have Sunset the Delaware, like have B mains.
Yeah,
that was my goal, and it's not doable. It is doable. Don't get me wrong. It's not doable as one person trying to promote it. Like, I'm not a Chris Lawrence. But it's not going to happen. We were going to try it out. The rental thing didn't work and stuff, but just I want to see it grow.
Yeah.
Everything, like, I'm not trying to be like dick, but the cost of living and everything gone up. Racing's a dying sport, and it sucks to say. It sucks to say it's a dying sport. Like, they got rid of the limiteds to go to the pros. The hot rod class is booming. Like, that's where we got to run. Is what I think right now. Or maybe where we'll go in later on future. But super stocks aren't what they used to be. Mini stocks used to have full fields. Bone stock, like, we're having 16 cars now. We had a little ordeal I'm not going to get into at the track there, where I think 4 or 5 bone stocks left at Sunset 2 or 3 weeks ago. So we used to have like 2022. It was decent, but now we're down to 16, and it's just like, it is what it is. I get it's the end of the season. People run out of money, that kind of stuff. Like, life gets in the way. But this year, like, I set out to win a championship. That was my goal. It was a championship, and even with my injuries and stuff, I'm not letting life get in my way. It's not an option. Like, we're going to win. Like,
yeah. And it's I think we can say, Ben, at Peterborough, that their bone stocks have actually taken off as well. Like, they've increased. So it is, again, you see it at the beginning of the season, much more. OSS was the same. Like, we saw the counts were almost record setting for us this year. We got up to 19.
Which is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. But then what happens is just what you talked about. Now we're at the end of the season and we're like -8 cars compared to where we were. So that, like, we've got to find ways that things a little bit easier for everybody. Like we said, cost is everything. You guys know you're running in the bone stock division. Even bone stocks are not cheap anymore.
No, if you want to compete, if you don't care, you want to go and drive around the back, 100%. But if you want to go run up front, win, like, they're not. You're right. And
I mean, I think Chris, you've said it before. Like, everything kind of goes through, and we've heard this, goes through ebbs and flows, right? Things, divisions specifically, Legends. So we'll take Legends a couple years ago. They had 6 cars,
right?
And now I think they're like upwards of 26, 27.
Yeah, and then you got the other Legends class too. When you put them both together there, it gets huge, right?
Exactly. And you've got, like, they're sending cars home.
The biggest thing I'm going to voice my opinion on this year, and I'm going to actually try to hit every track meeting, is get every track on identical rule package. Because that's another reason why we don't travel, because our rules are a bit different. Peterborough's rules are a bit different from Sauber's. Every rules are so much different that you have to change just that much just to go to that track to try. I wanted support, but to change it to try to change it back to get your car to work the way it was, you're never going to hit that or cross that T, right? Dot that I right on the dot. So, like, I'm going to go to every driver or rules meeting this year, and I'm going to try. And I'm not fighting for super stocks and that. That's not. Who cares? Like, you guys
Yeah.
can do that as your driver in that class. But for the bone stocks, I'm going to try to get every track on the same identical rule package. Winning, you win this many, you add this much weight to this point of the car. Like at Delaware, you add it to the right side floor, or like that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Just every track's on the same motor weights, that kind of, and then we can travel. And that's what's going to bring your tracks closer, I think. You'll get a lot more traveling cars if you can get every track on the same page. And we've been trying and trying. It's getting closer. They're still not there. But this year's the year, I think. I'm gonna try hard.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think everybody knows that, and we kind of like Ben and I talked about this, is that, with when it comes to even just the promotion side of it for us, like with podcasting, we're not going to fight anybody. That does no service to the racing. Like you said, it was a dying sport. I agree, sadly, but the more that we can work together to build it back up is how it survives. If we're constantly at each other, people are constantly going to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. It's just going to cause further division, and it's just going to hurt it more. I mean, we don't need that. We don't.
With like big invitational, big nights. One track, but another track's running for points. Like, we all got to get on the same page that way too. Like, okay, all right, Sunset gets a long weekend throughout the summer. Sauble gets a long weekend. Every track gets their long weekend. Don't get me wrong, other tracks can still run, but if Sunset has a massive super stock invitational, don't have Peterborough, for say, running their super stocks for points the same day. Like, that's what we have. And if we can get on the page like that, I think it'd make it a lot easier, and you'd have a lot more cars come out. Like,
I was having that conversation with Tegan Stanley a couple weeks ago, and Matt McMartin. He wanted the ability to go to Sunset, but couldn't due to him racing at Peterborough and with those restrictions. If every track were to get on that page, we could have a B main at every track for those weekends.
Yes.
We now have the ability to travel.
Exactly. Like you just said there, Ben, you guys had that $500 winner takes all race. It was a points night at Sunset. Do you not think I would travel with 3 cars up there and come support you guys? 100% we would have. But same time, we're chasing championship. I can't just let that go at Sunset, right? Like,
and it's the same yesterday with the Lincoln, right?
Yeah.
Like the Lincoln invitationals, it's great, but you had people running mini stocks the night before at Peterborough. And the other side of it too is if they're in a championship chase, they're not going to risk the car.
Well,
that's one of those things. Like, do you need to do invitationals earlier in the season?
Right. Well, it's
like there's a lot.
Problem is too, is you don't get your best racing earlier in the season. Not everyone's figured out their programming, and that's what I like to see. Is your invitationals, your end of the season, everyone's starting to figure out their programs. It's good racing, like you said, me, Kelvin, and Phil, 3 wide, 8, 9, 10. I couldn't tell you how many it was.
Yeah.
Sunday or Saturday at Sunset and Bones, like 5 wide for a solid lap. Like, it was tight. Like, and everyone came out of it. Like, I don't know how, but like, it was crazy there. Like,
but we've seen it though, Cal. Chris, that we've seen it at Peterborough where, even the colors has had numbers kind of drift off. Frostfest has had numbers drift off because, again,
weather. I think.
Well, yes, that
weather
obviously
always has. You never know, right? Like, you look at the weekend forecast for a weekend like that. Geez, man. Like,
well, but also on that side as well is we talked about, people gotta learn. We've talked about this, unfortunately, about learning to back out. I think everybody has everybody seems to have the ability to go full bore and then forget that they do have a brake pedal as well. We saw a couple incidents, the last couple of days where, drivers get into it afterwards, but in reality, it could have all been avoided if somebody just decided, maybe I don't need to make that move right now.
What, you're passing for the same amount of money too? You just wreck both. Like,
right.
5 positions in bone stock, like 1, 2, 3 are the same, and I think 5 down are the same amount of money. So you just wrecked each other for the same amount of money, 2 points. I gotta get something to take some, and like, I have no problem hitting the brake pedal. Like, And then you have to keep a nose on the car at the end of the night to be able to finish, even, right? Mm-hmm. So,
one of the things that I wanted to have Ben on for is obviously because we have the future of announcing right beside me, and I've told him that several times, and you're working with, obviously, Chris, the future racers, but I've got to ask you, got a lot of a lot of little Allards with you. Are we going to see little Allards behind the wheel at any
Let's
point?
yeah, you are.
Yeah. All right.
So,
So who's going to be more nervous then?
Mom? Yeah, definitely Mom. So she doesn't know it yet, but we're trying to get her into a bone stock for next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh man, and that's cool. One thing as well, Ben, that I love about Chris. He's got ink, and he's got ink that's got the race cars all over it.
Hey,
Yeah, he's got I think he's got you got your dad's car on there, I believe.
yes. No, so I got my Integra that we did a lot of winning with in mini stock. That's the neon I sold. I went to Laird Speedway. How do I do this here? That's the 81 that we had the Jason King Road last year. That's Josh Berry's car from last year. That's actually Frank Davies. And that's a live picture of when I used to race Superstock of Frank trying to turn me for a win.
that is incredible.
We're getting this year's cars all down here. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
All right, Ben. So that's what you got to get now. You got to get your arms
Just
done.
get my
all right?
arms all done up.
We are actually talking yesterday, and we said there's a couple people like, that'd be cool if you just did like a bone stock collage. So I don't know. There's a couple of us, I think, like Aiden Harper, Calvin, Booth. I was like, all right, give me some good pictures of your cars this year, and we'll see what we can do. So I think Steve's going to do a whole sleeve of just bone stock cars on me for this season.
Yeah, so shout out to Steve Oakes,
Yeah,
racer of the Tide
If
Ride.
anyone needs some tattoos, you definitely go see Steve. He's very good at detail work.
Let's give you the opportunity to thank people, Chris. This is what we do on our podcast. Is we give people the opportunity to shout out their sponsors, shout out the people in their lives that help get the car on the racetrack, and shout out anybody that anybody that does it for them.
First off, huge thanks to my kids and my wife. Let me do what I love. There's a lot of time that's not spent with them. It should be that's working on race cars, but that's what they want to do too, right? Like so, can't really complain. Big thanks to my wife and kids. Juniors College, Josh Berry. Those guys have made all this happen. Everything that's happened is because of Junior. Got to give him a huge thank you. Jason, Stephan, Willow King. Those three have been huge help and support in my life. We Fast Car Audio, Technicore Underground, Rumble Excavating, Nicky's Tire and Barry. Who else? Who am I missing? East King Trucking, Hammer Down Apparel. I think that's about all. But fast, yeah, I said them. But no, I have to give a huge thanks out to all those people support this season and put my life on track. Actually, so
and that's a great thing that I didn't know if we wanted to touch on that, but all we can say is that we're really happy to hear that. And,
Auto Trim Barry.
Yes, definitely Auto Trim Barry.
Big thanks to Mike. He does a lot of work for us.
I
used to be quite Parker Animal. We're 4 months sober now? 4 months, couple days sober there. So it's got to start somewhere, right? So
it's great to hear. And, we're so supportive of you, Chris. And you've been you've been an amazing supporter of ours. And it's been an honor to be on the 76 this year.
Forgot stickers and scuffs, man.
It's okay. You're not on next year now. You're screwed.
All right. I'll find another one then to advertise for.
It's been an absolute honor to be on your car and to see you have such amazing success this year. And you know what? We really like people that not just are passionate, but are also willing to help and help everybody. We finally got our interview at the track only a couple weeks ago. It's like every time you were winning, I wasn't there. And then every time I needed to get an interview from you, it just never happened. And we finally got there, finally got it. And now we got you on the podcast with of course, the new guest co-host, Ben Hodgson as well, who's done a great job today. But, Chris, best of luck for the last couple of races this year and bringing home, hopefully, that championship. And we'll be celebrating with you on championship night.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
That's Chris Allard and guest co-host Ben Hodgson. Make sure you guys follow him. He's great stuff on Instagram for Peterborough Speedway, so make sure you follow him. Catch you guys all next time on Stickers and Scuffs.